r/AskReddit by Reddit tells. Tattoo artists of Reddit who have refused a client's request for a specific tattoo. What was the tattoo, and why did you refuse to do it? I'd just like to publicly thank the tattoo artist who in 1988, on my 18th birthday, refused to tattoo a pot leaf on my leg. You are a saint. Managed a shop for a while. Some dude wanted his girlfriend's initials on his taint and requested a female artist to do it. We kindly denied it because A, not 100% sure how that would heal, and didn't want to deal with him coming back with issues trying to pin it on us, and B, our only female artist didn't want to go near some random dude's taint. Friend who is a tattoo artist says she mostly turns down drunk 18-year-olds. A girl came into the shop and was smashed, actually laid down on the floor and screamed, but I went my nose pierced right NOWWWW. Also turned away a wasted mother/daughter duo. That time, the drunk mother argued she's not drunk, I'm her mother. Lady, you can't sign a permission slip to make someone sober. My wife is a tattoo apprentice, and they turn down people all the time. Usually one of the following. Obviously underage, usually with angry mother in tow demanding they do it anyway. They want a face or hand tattoo as a first tattoo. They want something that can't be done, like a massively detailed image, but in a 1-inch square area. Something generally offensive. Like the guy who wanted Party Girl and Frank, because his drinking buddies called him Frankie. Butthole tattoos. Most people have trouble showering for a standard tattoo. It's not worth it. Drunk/drugged out. Happens a lot. Sometimes people get hammered or high so they can tolerate the pain better. But that's a big no on informed consent that is not worth the liability to the studio. One of my friends wanted a tattoo of a single dot on his arm, which would basically be indistinguishable from a freckle. The guy politely refused and talked him out of it by bringing up that he'd still have to charge him like $40 just for using a needle. I got my first and only tattoo just after marrying my husband 30 years ago. My tattoo artist tried to dissuade me from getting my husband's name tattooed in the design. When I insisted, he said fine, but just remember, love lasts forever, but a tattoo lasts 6 months longer. I'll never forget that advice. My ex-wife had already gotten one of my drawings tattooed on herself, which was fine. But then, she decided that she really liked the way my signature looks and wanted it on her shoulder. I wasn't comfortable with that because it looks like I'm branding her or something. Her body though, so she got it. She also made me go to the studio with her, which looked worse for me. Well, we are divorced now, and she's had it covered up with a tattoo that looks like absolute shit. Oh well, her body. I got my first tattoo back in '91. It's a rose with my wife's name on it. We got married in '87. Anyway, fast forward to a year ago when I got my second and third tattoos. The artist that worked on me, he's around my age, said I was the first person he'd ever met that had a significant other's name tattoo and was still with that person. Guess I got lucky. Significant other went in to get our oldest son's name on his back. Super awesome artist made it clear she only does names of kids and dogs because she doesn't want to have to cover a good tattoo in 2 months if things don't work out. Thought it was funny as hell. That so had to pull up a pic of our kid to get it done. Significant other went into I'm not an artist, but I witnessed a denial that has stuck with me. Guy behind the counter is bored, reading a magazine. Young couple walks in, both of them probably 18 or so, looking around all nervous. They go up to the counter and she says, "Hi." Without looking up from his magazine, artist asks, "Help you?" She tells him, "Yeah, I want to get back quote property of Buckley in all caps on my lower back." Silence. Painfully slowly, the artist closes his magazine and finally raises his head to look at them. Taking his time, he looks up the couple up and down, then asks, "And this winner right here, this is Buckley?" She kind of just stammered and nodded, and the artist went back to his magazine. "No, we are not doing that," was all he had to say, considering the subject closed. The couple looked at each other, looked around, and just walked out sheepishly. Once they were gone, he looked over at me, realizing I had witnessed it all, and just said, "Fucking kids, man." They probably thought he was a total asshole, and they were right, but he probably also did that girl a favor in the long run. Not gonna lie, I got all the way to the end, and I'm still not 100% sure if this is a scene from an episode of King of the Hill or not. This reminds me of a story. One time, when I was in 7th grade, I stumbled upon a homemade VHS of my dad fucking my new stepmom. She was still in college. I was with a few friends and I shouldered hit eject right away, but we let it roll. Turns out she was sporting a brand new tattoo on her ass that said property of my dad's name. At the time, I was 12 or 13. She was 21, and my dad was 35. That marriage lasted about a year. My dad is a complete asshole for a lot of reasons, and convincing that poor girl to get his name tattooed on her ass is definitely one of them. Also, the absolute worst part of that video was that, while they were in the middle of banging, the phone rang. They stop, my dad answers the phone, and I recognize from the conversation that it was the past summer when I was staying at my mom's house and had called him. He's talking to me on the phone and shaking his dick at my stepmom while she holds the camera. Goddamn man. A lady whose child recently died wanted me to tattoo "You should have saved her" on her chest. I convinced her to get the symbol for mental health, semicolon, and baby footprints instead. This woman was devastated. We talked a lot during her session and I always wonder how she is doing. Another guy came in. He had one leg, so I thought he was interesting. He wanted a tattoo on his hand and asked if it was okay to tattoo it since he had recently broken his hand. I said it was fine as long as it was healed up. I asked out of curiosity how he broke his hand, and he said I punched my dog. I got him to fill out the form with his name and address and asked casually where the dog was, and he just said "gone now." Told him I was sorry that I couldn't do his tattoo and then turned his shit into the cops. I should have just taken his other leg. Fucker. Not a tattoo artist, but funny story here. I was friends with a guy who made sniper school in the Marines or shit, and to celebrate he wanted to add it to his resume. His resume was a list of tattoos on his back of places he and been and things he had done. But to save space, he assumed he was going to do a lot in life. He just put an abbreviation or the initials of the place. His high school was HH and his first job was BLS and so on. So he wanted the letters SS, sniper school, tattooed on his back. Also funny that the Marines used to use lightning bolts on the school emblem, but he didn't want those. So long story short, he asks the tattoo artists for it, and the lady starts screaming at him for being an artsy. My friend had no idea and hustled out of there. He later found someone else that would do it, but he made sure to explain why this time. Not a tattoo artist, but this is a tattoo that was a huge mistake for a friend of mine. He'd been dating this girl, let's call her Angela, for several years. He's visually impaired, and she had a mild intellectual disability. Basically, she acted like a preteen, despite being in her 20s. Anyway, so my friend's 30th birthday is coming up, and Angela says she's got to come up with something big for his birthday. So she gets him a tattoo. She chooses the tattoo, and she chooses the writing to go with it. My friend has always been a pushover, and Angela, despite her disability, would always take advantage of him whenever she had the chance. Less than a year after getting this tattoo, they broke up. Now, whenever my friend takes his shirt off, everyone within 100 foot can see this massive fucking tattoo on his back. A tiger with the words "Happy 30th birthday, name, love Angela." Damn tattoo takes up his entire fucking back. Dumbest thing he's ever done, not that he'd admit it. Thanks for watching. Comment with your own tattoo stories. Subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to smash that like button.